Hello, welcome to this channel. We're using a booklet called Kamatthana, going page by page. Its booklet is available as an ebook and can be found on this channel as a free download. You may prefer to follow along and also use the booklet for your practice. Today we're on page 26. And we're going to talk about the subject of karma, or in the Pali language, they say kama. So I've found in my own experience, most people I talk to, regardless of their religious backgrounds or lack of any spirituality, when asked, do you believe in karma? They almost all say yes, but when you get to talking about it, you find that they don't have a very sophisticated understanding, certainly not the Buddhist understanding of what karma is. Most typically, they think when something bad happens to you, that's your bad karma. Or if somebody does something like they're speeding down the highway and then there's a policeman, they pass and then they get stopped by the police, they say, that person just got instant karma. But I hope after we've talked about this in more detail, we'll have a broader understanding. So the first sentence says, karma is volition. Having willed, one performs. Volition is karma or kama, and if there's no volition, there's no kama. So in the forest monk tradition, and for me, the teachings of the Buddha, it's always about what's going on in consciousness and how essential it is for us to be paying attention to whatever is arising to the level of consciousness, literally moment by moment. This sentence says that if you don't think it, that is what is your intention? What are you wanting to do? What is even the hidden motives behind what you want to be saying or doing? That forms your karma. Not the words and not the deed, but it's a mental formation that will create the seed for future experience or the fruition of karma. So if we're not mindful of what the mind is doing, we can be certain that we spend our entire day, our entire life, just creating new seeds that we can call karma. And when the conditions are ripe, sometime in the future, maybe in the next 2 minutes if we're speeding and then we pass a policeman, or some lifetimes in the future, or at least later in this lifetime, this karma will bear fruit. An example of volition is if a robber, a bad person, is robbing someone in an alley or on the street, and during the course of the robbery they stab the person and the person dies. Now we go to a hospital and there's someone suffering from a potentially deadly heart attack, and he's in surgery and the surgeon is cutting him open, and while cutting into him, he passes away. So 2 people using a knife, their consequences are 2 people die, but there's very, very, very different intention. So the very first definition here is it comes from our mind and our intentions. And accidents are just that. We're not intending to possibly strike another car, but a moment of losing awareness. We look down at our phone or whatever, and we strike another car. The karma from that event will be very different than someone who's drunk driving and risking their own life and those of others when they have an accident. The next sentence is that there are three sources of karma. The first being greed, which is a strong word, sometimes translated as lust, certainly often translated as wanting or desire. It's the first of these five troublesome characteristics that all people have that cause suffering. It's a wanting, wishing, expecting, desiring, demanding that something be the way we want it to be. We're going to talk a little later about these three, so I won't go into too much detail now, but the Pali word is loha. The second is the opposite of wanting and craving. It's hating, not liking, disliking, rejecting, refusing. It's actually another form of craving. We're craving what not to have certain experiences. That's called dosa. And the third is delusion or ignorance, called moha. The ignorance is not that we're not well educated, that we're not sophisticated, member of society. It has nothing to do with how well read we are, well traveled, well versed in any subject, any skill we might have musically or athletically, etc. It has to do with the delusion that is at the base, the very foundation. Delusion is that I'm a person. This is myself. This is happening to me. This is what I like. This is what I want. This is what I don't like, what I disagree with, etc. So this is a model that Lord Buddha has put forward, and it's unique to Buddhism to declare that there's no such thing as a person, and it's extremely difficult to touch that place where we have the direct experience of non-self. But that's the teaching, that it's possible and that it's essential if we wish to find a true peace of mind, equanimity, tranquility, and live a truly blessed life for ourselves and others. Here's another sentence. Karma is the field, consciousness is the seed, and craving the moisture. So I said just a moment ago that karma is created as a mind object, as a mind moment. That would be consciousness. Then there has to be a world. There has to be something where that mind moment can manifest. That's the field. And the way it will manifest, the way we nurture it, knowingly or unknowingly, the way we water it, is with wanting and not wanting. Here's a wonderful quote. It's one of my favorites. I am the owner of my karma, heir to my karma, born of my karma, related to my karma, abide supported by my karma. If we understood this definition of karma, it would be impossible to ever blame anyone for an event that involves us or includes us. We often say, now look what you made me do. If that's not my fault, that's your fault. We have all these sayings that project our unhappiness with the present moment, whatever it might be, as being caused by the other person. One obvious example of this is the divorce rate. Nobody's getting divorced because they're owning their karma. They're getting divorced because they're blaming their partner for making them miserable. So, not that this doesn't happen. There's certainly some very bad partners out there. But this one says, I am the owner. Okay? My karma does not belong to you, and it is not caused by you. I planted the seeds, and now I am heir. I am inheriting the fruit of the karma that I planted unknowingly, ignorantly, at some point in the past. I'm born because of my karma. I'm therefore related to my karma. It's my family. It's my relatives, both figuratively speaking and in real life. We're born into a family that is appropriate for our karma. And when we have bad experiences and good experiences within a family, that is the result of our karma. In Western psychotherapy, when people suffer and are unhappy, the therapist tries to figure out who to blame. It must be something mommy-daddy related. Somehow your parents have failed you, or your neighborhood, or a teacher in school, or a bad uncle. At any rate, they can't and don't understand karma, so it's only natural that they look to the world. Oh, it's the culture you were raised in, it was in the neighborhood that you were raised in, etc. But this says that I am the owner, I'm the heir, and I'm born of that karma. And my next breath is supported by my karma. You can't be listening to this Dhamma talk. You can't drive a car or go to work if it weren't for the fact that that is your karma. Whatever karma I shall do, for the good or ill of that I will be the heir. So we, technically speaking, we don't say, oh, that's bad karma and that's good karma. It's just karma. If it's making us suffer, okay, we can say that's bad karma. But in any case, we are the creator, we're the owner, we're the heir, and it's pointless to blame anyone else. For me, I find it helpful to think that I got my DNA from my parents, and I got my life experience from my karma. I guess we could say I also got my DNA from my parents, that is from my karma, but the experience that constitutes making me the person that I am, that was the result of karmic seeds that were planted before I took this birth. Beings are the owners of their own karma, and results of their karma belong to them alone. So it's another way of saying stop blaming. And this is critically essential. This point I'm about to make: stop blaming yourself. At the time you created those karmic seeds, which are now causing suffering, you could not have known better. You just didn't know better. We say that of children who behave badly. They run around the house with a sharp knife or do other things that endanger their health and even their life. They then also do things, maybe abuse a pet or whatever, and we say, oh, they just didn't know better, and the punishment should be in line with the fact that the child is not mature enough to make wise and wholesome decisions. Well, we were a child. We are still a child. We don't know the truth about our own life, and we behave and do things that are very risky and that often result in our own suffering. So we start by not blaming ourselves and graduate to not blaming others. This is the way it is. This is the present moment. Now, how can I most wisely respond to this present moment? Whether I like it or I don't like it, how can I wisely respond to it in such a way that I'm not going to keep making karmas that are painful and ultimately that result in my rebirth? One idea that I've had about learning to not blame others is think of karma as a self-addressed envelope or a self-addressed package that you've sent to yourself. So up in the upper corner of the package, it's at the return address, so to speak, it's you. And then the address of where you want the package sent is a future you. And here comes the delivery man, just like a UPS or a mail carrier driver. They come to your address, they ring the doorbell, give you the package, and you open the package as they're walking back to their vehicle or beginning to drive away, and it's something awful. It's some terrible, stinky thing, a rotten thing, and you instantly become enraged with the delivery person. So you chase down the delivery person. You want to beat them or harm them or blame them or punish them in some way because you don't like the package. Well, this is an attitude, a misunderstanding, an ignorance, a cause of suffering, that is a dukkha that we talked about previously. It's a mistake that we have made in not understanding that we are the heir to our previous thoughts. And then the thoughts have evolved into speech, and our speech may have evolved into an action. I'm thinking, I just saw in the news somebody got into a fight. They were having I believe it was a wedding, bachelor party in a bar, and some men got in an argument and one of them ended up dead. So it started with a thought, then I'm sure they started verbally abusing each other, and then they resulted in an action that ended up killing one of the participants. Well, that's what we do. We have an idea, then we talk about it, or we shout about it. We use vulgar and coarse language, angry language. We demean and criticize and ridicule and put down others. And in some cases, we come to blows. in some form or another, door slamming or whatever form it might take. This is a perpetuating of more of this kind of experience in the future instead of putting an end to it. Karma causes rebirth in the three realms. The three realms are hell and animal realms, the human realm, and the realms that we would call heavenly realms. Buddha has articulated those three realms as being different places, different kinds of beings live. And interestingly, even in the heavenly realm, there's a form of suffering, even though the being may not be aware of it. The suffering is they still think they're a person. And because they have taken life, they will live for some time. It may be very, very long times in a heavenly realm, apparently, according to the scriptures, but eventually they will be reborn again. So here are these three realms, and avidya, this is the original cause. This is what we might call original sin. Sin is just not knowing the truth. Actually, in Latin, it's sine die. It means life without God. We can say life without the pure Dhamma, or life without understanding Buddha nature, whatever vocabulary is most comforting. Avidya is the primary cause, and kama is the secondary. So avidya, I don't have a problem with calling it the devil. Anyway, it's some energy, it's some concept, it's something that starts out with the idea that there is such a thing as a person. So we can't be born anywhere in the three realms if we don't believe we're a person. The reason we have a life now is we believe we are a person. And the secondary cause of our rebirth is our karma. So whatever kind of life we live as a person will determine the kind of life we're going to have next. I think we all have a tendency to imagine that I'm a human this time, and okay, I'll be a human next time, or maybe if I'm lucky, I'll be an angel in heaven. But in Buddhism, the choices are very vast. They include choices in the animal world, the ghost realms, and the realms of extreme suffering that we can think of as hell. Avidya incites us to make karma. Okay, so if we think of avidya, what picture, if we want to draw a picture of avidya, how do we draw a picture of an idea? Well, draw a person. Draw a little sketch of a male person or a female person. Once we have the sense that we are a person, we're going to make karma, because we're going to have consciousness. If we're lucky, if we're a lucky person, we're going to have 5 healthy senses. We're going to identify with those 5 senses. So everything we see, hear, smell, taste, touch is the result of my having a body, which I call my body. So avidya incites us to make karma. And once made, we have to bear the results. Okay? So the only way out of this cycle is to purify the mind and the heart, or the heart-mind, sufficiently that we're no longer making karma, even if we're alive in this world, because we have no longer identified with being a person. A fully liberated human being still experiences karma. They still scratch when a mosquito bites. They still age. They get sick. They get cancer or some other illness. There's some suffering around that. That is certainly a discomfort of some kind. Even the Buddha, when he was walking the last weeks and months of his life to a location where he had determined he wanted to pass away at that location. One day, after a long walk, he said to, I've forgotten his name now, senior moment. He said, "Oh, my back is," he was 80 years old. He said, "My back is just killing me." So not exactly those words, but the point is he had a body. There was a body that was subject to illness and all the sensations that arise on the body. And he was aware that painful sensations were arising on the body. And if he really identified strongly with that, then he would have not be the Buddha. So the point I'm trying to make is, as long as we have a body and relationships with the world, personal, family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, etc., or even if we're a hermit, there's still a relationship with the world. There's temperature, there's weather and climate, there's hunger, and being full and toileting and so on. It's possible to have or to be, however you wish to think about it, a body without claiming that it belongs to you. And the last sentence on this page, this person is a fellow being of mine. Okay, so that's briefly just means, okay, here's me and here's this other being, but says he's a being of mine. Intentionally or unintentionally, I myself must have been the source of a provocation, or it may be due to a past karma of mine, as it is the outcome of my own action. Why should I harbor any ill will towards him? So we're back to the point I made earlier in the bar fight or in a marital or a relationship situation. The point is, whatever arises in the present moment is the fruition of a karmic seed. And technically, it has nothing to do with that other person. It doesn't mean that that other person, you did something bad to that other person at some time in the past, and now that other person is paying you back. That's not a clear understanding of karma. All that other person is a delivery person. They are delivering a package that you sent to yourself. That's it. No need to blame yourself. Now you have awakened enough on the path of Dhamma to start taking responsibility for past behaviors and wanting to ensure that future behaviors won't result in the kind of unpleasant, painful experience you might be having now. So I'm going to finish here on page 27. We can finish karma, so we won't be talking about it in the next Dhamma talk. So here are some kind of prayers or mental recitations that we can use to help liberate us from our tendency to blame. Please forgive any wrong I have done to you through my ignorance. We could say that out loud to someone. We could also say it as a prayer for ourselves. We could be asking forgiveness from ourself. It says, I receive no unpleasant consequences from your thoughts, as I am not the one who engages in them. This is a powerful teaching. Buddha said the person who drinks poison and thinks somebody else will suffer is ignorant, is delusional. When we get mad, we are on fire and we are in hell. And if we think that's going to cause suffering to somebody else, we're delusional. Now, once we are on fire and we have lost control of ourselves emotionally, we may lose control of ourselves physically, and we want the other person to suffer. So we engage in behaviors that we hope will punish them. We blame them, we shout at them, we're vulgar and cruel and mean, demeaning, etc. to them, or we even physically abuse them. But this one says, the consequences from your thoughts. I'm not the one who engages in them. So we're not punishing anyone by getting mad at them. We're punishing ourselves. And a remedy, we lose our temper. That's what it's called. A wave of emotion is like a little tsunami. It just knocks us down, and we behave in a way we really wished we hadn't once we wake up or sober up, so to speak. So here's something we can say to ourselves. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, and thank you. So we ask for forgiveness and we understand we get it. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And then thank you. Because it's all a circle. It's all connected. We recognize that there is a higher self, one of loving kindness, goodwill, compassion, sympathetic joy. Then we see, that is not the person, or that wasn't the behavior that I wished I had expressed that behavior and not the angry behavior. So now I'm sorry for that, and I forgive. Please forgive me. You can say this to the inner Buddha nature or God or any idea you have about a higher self, a purer self. Please forgive me, and you can be certain that at the highest levels there is no blame, so technically there's no need to be pardoned, and then thank you. Well, I hope you've gained some benefit today, and I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. Let's hope that these Dhamma talks can reach those who are most in need of them, and may be a blessing to them as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.